Uçak mı?
Ini Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi.
Let's see. ఇక్కడ కోతి
And listen to the instructions of the crew.
అదే కదా తెలుస్తుంది
And was fully qualified by Transport Canada to operate this vessel. The boat itself is fully coaster certified. We also have a bar on the lower level, serving a variety of drinks such as beer, hot water, tea, iced tea, as well as chips. You're welcome to pay with credit card or cash, and American cash is accepted at bar. Here in North America, do any of you know the other four Great Lakes? Anybody? You can't tell me everyone skipped geography class. That's not possible. No one? Remember the five Great Lakes is the African homes, which is Erin, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and of course Superior. Lake Ontario is the smallest by surface area, but it's actually one of the deepest, reaching about 244 meters. Professional purposes, that is about the height of the Eiffel Tower, or half the Syrian Tower. The name Ontario is thought to be of Iroquois origin, meaning beautiful lake or sparkling water, as you can see right now. Looks like there's diamonds dancing on the lake. This part of Lake Ontario is called the Toronto Inner Harbor, which is a bay on the northern shore of the lake. It is a natural harbor protected by the Toronto Islands from the larger lake. It reaches a maximum depth of 30 meters or 12 feet, which means it often freezes over during the winter season. When it does, there is a special boat called the icebreaker boat that is sent out to enable cargo ships and the ferries to continue running in the winter season. See on the right hand side, marked the Bushel Airport restricted zone, where no ships are allowed due to the risk of aircraft coming in or taking off. The airport is the 9th busiest in Canada. Charter flights and private planes. To get to the airport, there's a the Toronto Islands. There are a series of 14 islands, one larger island accompanied by a cluster of smaller islands, all of them connected either by bridges or pathways. The islands were not always islands, but actually continuously moving sandbars eroded from the east side of Toronto and carried westward by Lake Ontario currents. They were well known by Native American people, who considered them a place of relaxation and leisure. The main peninsula became known to European explorers as the island of Hiawatha. Hiawatha was an important Native American leader who united 5 different tribes to form the Iroquois Confederacy.
ఎయిర్పోర్ట్ గురించి చెప్పినప్పుడు రికార్డ్
Passing on your right hand side is called Highlands Point. It is named after the Highland family, who were some of the first year-round inhabitants of the islands. Many of Toronto's wealthiest families started building beautiful Victorian summer homes here in the islands in the late 1800s. The Highlands were the first and quickly became the center of island life. The Hannah's son Ned was an internationally successful athlete, winning numerous competitions and medals for the sport of rowing. Allen's Park was also home to a baseball stadium, and in 1914 was the site of Babe Ruth's first professional home run. Babe Ruth was playing for the Providence Rays at the time, and he hit the ball right out of the park and into Lake Ontario. The ball was never retrieved and is probably worth a lot right now, but don't get any ideas of swimming. It still stands today, but it is home to one of the main beaches on the island, one of them being a clothing optional beach. I don't make the rules. The Toronto skyline.
ఏముంది కొంచెం అలవాటు అవ్వాలి కదా
ఇక్కడే ఉంటా
ఓకే ఓకే
కష్టం నాకు అట్లా
51. It is a members-only club offering a number of amenities on a private 18-acre island called Mugs Island.
మగ్స్ ఐలాండ్
It has 140 docks, tennis courts, swimming pools, private beaches, as well as 3 dining rooms.
వావ్
You can also find 2 other yacht clubs on the island, the Royal Canadian Yacht Club and the Queen City Yacht Club, both located out toward the eastern end of the island, as well as the central marina, where many people actually live during the summer months.
వాళ్ళు పార్క్ ఇక్కడ పార్క్ చేసుకుంటారు అనుకుంటా ప్రైవేట్గా తెచ్చుకొని
Area. Due to the location of the islands between 2 major North American flyways, there's always an abundance of birds of the islands. During spring migration, the islands are often the first landfall for birds exhausted from flying across Lake Ontario. Keen birders can see warblers, wrens, the black-crowned night heron, comets, egrets, buckleheads, swans, and so on. Trees are also flying above you. Fishing is also a popular sport on the islands, although you'll need a license to do so. Common fish include carp, pike, yellow perch, sandfish, catfish. There have even been reports of deer and coyotes here on the islands. On the islands, as well as all over Toronto, but be careful, they're not the friendliest of species. The Long Pond. This is where the Dominion Day Regatta is held in July. It was renamed the Alan A. Lamport Regatta Course in 1994 after former Mayor of Toronto, who played a key role in enlarging the regatta course to international competition standards. The 1,000-meter course is also used for the Dragon Boat Race Festival, which began in 1989 and has been a popular summer event ever since, celebrating Chinese culture. It is named after a sweet dessert that has a hole in the middle. It's called Donut Island because it also has a gap in the middle. We're so original with our names over here.
¿Por qué? No, ya. Yo lo que quiero es
The only islands with no fixed link to other islands. It is heavily forested with plenty of nature to be seen.
Oh, yeah. Connection. Radio towers అంట ఫస్ట్ కెనడా
Pero mencionaba búsqueda. ¿Qué me puso?
ఆ టవర్స్
Center Island. This is where the Center Island Ferry docks and where Centerville, a children's amusement park, is located. Centerville was built in 1967 and has a turn of the century theme and includes a miniature railway. This is one of the many bridges that connect the islands. This one is called Avenue of the Islands Bridge, and it connects Center Island to Middle Island. It was originally built at an unknown date, but dates before 1896 based on historical photos. These bridges are used by pedestrians, cyclists, animals, but not vehicles, as the islands are the largest urban car-free community in North America. Although some service vehicles are permitted, like ambulances, fire trucks, and garbage trucks.
అప్పుడే చూడండి చాలా నైట్ అయితే ఇంకా బాగుంటుంది బట్ 5:30 లాస్ట్
Eastern end of the islands are Ward and Algonquin Islands. These are now the only inhabited parts of the Toronto Islands. There are 262 homes and roughly 650 people who live there. Torontonians have always enjoyed life on the islands, first in modest cottages and nice summer homes by the late 1800s, and then by the early 1900s they were pushed to only the eastern end of the island. The Toronto City Council allowed the many campers to build permanent homes on Ward and then Algonquin, but by the time World War II ended, more campsites were permitted. It was established and they began converting the islands into city-owned parkland, demolishing the homes and improving the community. The remaining residents protested the upbuild for 20 years, until in 1993, the Toronto Islands Residential Community Trust Corporation was established. They procured 99-year leases, securing the community till 2092. Created a rather interesting real estate market, very different from the one on the mainland. All sales are organized by the Toronto Islands Residential Community Trust Corporation and tend to be a lot cheaper than similar homes on the mainland. The reason they're so inexpensive is because prices are based on the original cost of the home minus any depreciation for wear and tear. The price is fixed and is non-negotiable. But as with every deal that seems too good to be true, there is a catch. The trust maintains a list of 500 people who must pay an annual fee of $50. And only those people on the list are able to make offers on homes. The person at the top of the list is simply given a choice to buy or pass, since the price is fixed and is non-negotiable. That list, it is not that easy. Between 2013 and 2014, which was the last time it was open to new applicants, available spots. And being on that list does not guarantee you that you'll be able to buy a home. The 2 to 3 houses that do become available are typically bought out by the top 100 of the list. So if the current state of sale continues, it will take 167 to 250 years for all of those on that list to buy homes. So it's quite ridiculous. Way back to the mainland, you might see the city-run ferries taking passengers over to the islands. They can take you to Ward Island, Center Island, or Highlands Point. It is about $8 currently for an adult return trip. The ferry terminal is actually just right in front of you at the intersection of Prince Key and Bay. It is called the Jack Clinton Ferry Terminal, named after former city councilor and party leader. When hurricane freeze over, that's when the icebreaker boat is sent out to break up the ice. But it is mainly used by the island residents in the winter because who wants to go to the island? The Canadian winter is not favorable. Besides, it was once heavily industrialized with plenty of manufacturing plants and factories. But in the late 1900s, Toronto started redeveloping it, making it a more desirable place to live or visit. In the early 2000s, the Toronto Revitalization Corporation was established, and they have helped turn the waterfront into what you see today. 3 meters, or roughly 1,815 feet, right next to the Rogers Center. The Syrian Tower was once the tallest building in the world. Do you guys know who outbeat us?
చెప్పరా
The Burj Khalifa, 58-second elevator to the top. There's also glass floors where you're given a chance to see the whole of Toronto City. There's also a revolving restaurant that rotates 360 degrees slowly as you enjoy your fine dining. Like me, you can go for the edge walk where you're given the opportunity to walk on the edge and exterior of the building. No thank you. To Toronto, feel free to call the Rogers Center the Sky Dome, its original name from its grand opening in 1989. It can house roughly 70,000 people, and the closest it came to its max was in 2002. Not for the Blue Jays, not for the Toronto Raptors, not for any of the famous acts we've had here, but actually for WrestleMania 18. So apparently we like watching Hulk Hogan here in Toronto.
తనమా ఏం చెప్తున్నారే
లేదు కొడతానా
Here at the Harbourfront Center, please remain seated until it is announced that you may disembark. Islands and seeing the city from a new perspective. If you enjoyed the tour and would like to show appreciation, tips are always welcome and are shared equally amongst the crew.